in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows, there's a man with a passion that everybody knows.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC, coming at you this Sunday morning from the front porch. And we have this gal right here, Miss Abby. You gonna say hello to the people, Abby? You gonna say hello to the people? Well, she is with me, sitting right down here at my right hand side, and we are ready to get at it this morning. Hope everybody is enjoying a great weekend. So far so good. We'll give you the quick college football report. Bam! The U rocked again yesterday. Granted, we played inferior competition, but we scored a boatload of points, and we got the victory, and moving on to the next one. I can't say so much for you Notre Dame fans out there. If you are a Notre Dame fan this morning, it is probably not a good day. I think they played, oh my God, Northern Illinois. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, they were favored by like 29, almost 30 points in their game yesterday, and unfortunately, Northern Illinois did not get that memo. They did not read the script, and Notre Dame went down yesterday. I believe the score was 16-14 to Northern Illinois. Yeah, Northern Illinois. So, good day for you Northern Illinois fans out there that may be hearing my voice, but not so much for you Irish fans. But anyway, there's the college football report for the morning. Go Canes. But anyway, we are going to do a fun one this morning. We are back to the People series here, as I'm calling it. I am taking viewer on-screen family request, and this one is another one, and this one I dedicate to Brother Mike over at Making Cutlery Great Again. This was Mike's idea, so if this is a total train wreck, I've got a baked-in excuse, right? If this is terrible, I just blame it on you guys or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. This is going to be a fun one. This came from Brother Mike, and he wanted to know wanted me to show my smallest knife in my collection versus my largest knife in my collection. And he also said, show your cheapest, most thrifty knife in your collection versus your most expensive. And I said, challenge accepted. Let's do it. That ought to be fun. This ain't going to be very scientific this morning. It's going to be lighthearted, but it's a Sunday morning. It's 55 degrees here in the Stone, and I am double thumbs up in that. I love it. You guys know I'm pretty much a polar bear. I love the cooler weather, and we are actually sitting in the 50s this morning out here on this front porch, and I am still in a t-shirt. Yes, I am. Do have a hot cup of joe if I get a little chilly, but man, I've been waiting on some cooler weather. We have had a rough summer here, hot summer, and ready for some cool weather. But I'm sure you're tired of the football report and the weather report. Let's get into this very, very serious topic today. But no, it's going to be fun. So what do we want to do first? Let's go largest knife in the collection versus smallest. How about that? Largest knife in the collection is probably this. And this was a gift from a longtime co-worker of mine back at the factory here in town. Brother Thig I doubt he watches these videos. He is not a very tech savvy YouTube kind of guy, but just a stellar friend of mine. I went and visited him the other day, actually. He is now retired, but he knows I'm a knife guy. He knows I'm a buck guy, and he gifted me this big samurai sword of a knife here. This is none other than the Buck 120 General. And I did today bring an old tape measure, and we can actually get some dimensions on this largest and smallest knife. Let's just see here. We are 1 foot long here from pommel to tip. We are looking at 1 foot of knife here. And how about blade shape? Because it is very blade long versus the handle. And we have a blade shape of 7.5 inches. So, and look at that cool fuller right there. This is just an awesome knife. Was an awesome gift. I could not believe it when he took this out, and he said he wanted me to have it. But if you knew Thig, if you know Thig, I'm talking to him, I'm talking like the guy's dead. If you know Thig or Mark, you would understand he is just a salt of the earth, give you the shirt off his back type of guy. I love him, and he gets the accolades of giving me my largest knife that is still currently in my collection. And this again is a Buck 120, and they call it the General. So let's get this monster back in its sheath here, and this next one's going to be fun. This is going to be really fun. Again, folks, totally lighthearted this morning. We will keep this handy. My smallest knife, most diminutive knife in my collection, rides on this key ring. And let's talk about this key ring just a second too. If you ever wondered what's on, I'm sure you didn't wonder, but we'll go through it. What's on HT's key ring, a knife guy's key ring? Well, I have my little badge here on here. No, I'm not a police officer, but if you zero in on that, that says concealed carry permit holder. I just have that on my keys. What else do we got here that you guys would care about? Oh yeah, we got a Civivi, we got a pry bar, it's got a couple little, looks like wrench spots in there. We got a bottle opener built into that. So there's those. What else is on here? Obviously a bunch of keys. We actually have a bolt action pin. So on my keys, I always have a little bolt action writing pen. And what we are getting to here, and let me get this closed up right now, where you see it in all of its glory, closed first, is the old fish knife. Excuse me, not fish knife. That is a bird knife. If I can even hold this, I don't even know. I'm gonna have to hold it sideways, but if you can tell, the beak is right here. This is a bird, like a little raven. I'm not sure what bird that's supposed to be. We're gonna call it like a raven or a hawk, but it is all of, wait for it, in the closed position, it is 1 1/4 inches closed. So you are looking at a 1.25 inch closed length knife. And let's get this thing open. Check out this cool blade. Look at that. Now let's actually focus it a little better. Can you see? I should have just, I guess I should have took it off my key ring, but my arthritic fingers, I'd have never got it back on. But you see the little bird here, and his feathers and all, and then it comes out to this nice little clip point blade with a half moon nail nick. And let's measure that blade length. Let's just measure it all the way open full. It is 2 1/4 inches open. So that means we have a 1-inch blade, and I can see the cutting edge. You probably lose about 1/4 of an inch. We probably have a 3/4 of an inch cutting edge on this massive piece of cutlery here. And you guys are saying, what on earth, HT, do you have that on your key ring for? I don't know. I just think it's cooler than a cucumber. But honestly, you're gonna laugh, and I brought a piece of paper. In a last ditch effort, I don't know the scenario. I would never have a knife in my pocket. If I'm driving my pickup truck, there's at least 2 truck knives always that stay in my Victorinox, and my Gerber Gator now is went back to being my truck knife. So I always have at least 2 knives in my truck. If I'm away from my truck somehow, I don't have a knife in my pocket, which means probably the apocalypse is coming, or Jesus has came back for the rapture. I don't know what that scenario would be, but if I have my keys in my pocket, I have a blade. And you're gonna say, that's not a knife. Come on, HT, really? I'm not gonna believe this. Piece of post-it note here. It's sharp too. It is got an edge on it, and this little booger, in a pinch, would and could cut something. So there is largest, and Mike, there is smallest. Okay, what else? He also wanted to know most expensive and cheapest. What do we want to do first? Let's go cheapest, which honestly, that little knife that's on my key ring probably could double as my cheapest. I think that's some kind of little Temu knife, novelty knife all the way. Is that even brass? That could be brass. That could be brass covers. I don't know. Brass or copper. I don't know. That is probably a Temu or Amazon little it's a novelty. Does have an edge though. I just proved that. It is a cuttable tool, a cutting tool in a pinch. But the one I'm choosing for my cheapest, most thrifty knife in the collection, that I can definitively say how much it cost and that I purchased it, is this. And that comes from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You guys may remember this one. We have the old cowboy here on this side sitting on his horse. And if you turn it over, they are rustling up a steer on this side. They are cowboying away. And I forget what it's called. I think it's called the cowboy knife, the cattleman's knife. And this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I think exclusive. Don't quote me on that. This knife may be at other retailers, the old cattleman's knife, but this is full brass covers, and I love this knife. I love it. I really do. It has a beautiful spear point blade. You guys know I love a spear point. Has a nice executed sharpening choil. And check out this long pull on there. I think, all kidding aside, I actually gifted this to a few people. My stepson I sent one to. He is a horse farrier. So, you know, he's kind of in this cowboy-esque. I thought he would appreciate this. You know, he is studying to be a horse farrier. Actually, he's certified now, horse farrier. But at that time, he was going to school for a horse farrier. And, you know, he likes the roping and the riding and all that. So I thought he'd get a kick out of this. And, folks, this is a good knife. I'm going to make a mess of my front porch. But I'm not doing a very good job of showing that off right now. It looks like this thing has done got kind of moist out here, but there we go. It is sharp and ready to go. Full brass cowboy knife from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And wait for it, this is a whole big, I believe I caught them on sale for $6.99. So 7 smackaroonies, Mike. I know for a fact I paid $7 for this at its, you know, when I bought it. There may be stuff in my collection. Outside a little hawk knife there on the keychain, that is probably, I know what I paid for this. I don't remember what I paid for the little hawk, the little hawk knife. But I paid a big whopping $7 for this, and I love it. You know, call me crazy. I would actually, I have toted this. This has been a carry, and I have carried this for multiple days. This very knife, but I love it. It even has, check this out. You're not gonna believe it. $7 now. Look at that. Nice solid wall. Has half stops for $7. Listen to that. $7. Nice half stop. Deep long pulls. Full brass. That is my cheapest knife. Moving on. Now, on my most expensive knife, that is kind of, that was kind of tough. This is how I'm going with it. Something that I can really quantitate. I have some custom fixed blades that who knows what they would go for, you know, on the open market. It would be one of those things. What would somebody give you? You know, it's not like you can look it up and say, that's worth $1,500 or that's worth $650, which I don't think I have any that are probably worth that much. I was just making an example, but I have some stuff in my collection and old knives, you know, discontinued knives like the Benchmade 810 Osborne. It's been discontinued. The right collector may give you whatever, but the ones that I can quantitate, the most money right now in my collection, and I have spent a little more on a Chris Reeve. Now it's going to be a Chris Reeve. Spoiler alert. It is this. And right now in my collection, I only have one Chris Reeve. And of course, I kept a Sabenza. I've had an Insingo before. I've had at least one, probably at the most 2 Sabenzas in my Chris Reeve knives in my collection at one time. Currently, it's one. And it is this guy right here. And this is my favorite blade shape. They call it the Insingo blade from Chris Reeve. It is kind of a Warncliffe with a belly. And I love it. They call it the Insingo blade. We'll just leave it at that. This is a full size 21, this is a full-size Chris Reeve Sabenza, 31, I believe that's what they are. Again, see how removed I am from the modern world? That's a shame that I'm forgetting this stuff. But anyway, this is what they call a PJ or a plain Jane. I wanted, and I've had fancier. I've had some that's had all kind of fancy inlays, and they were so nice that I felt like I didn't want to carry them. You know, I felt dirty about carrying them. And if you guys know me, I carry my stuff, and I just looked at myself and was like, HT, that goes against everything you're about. If you've got a knife and it's too pretty and too ornate that you can't carry it, that ain't for you. So I have traded them, sold them off, and we have settled on this guy. It is plain titanium. We have the little blue accents here on it. We have the blue single thumb stud, Insingo blade. They have the awesome hollow grind, 3/4 up the way hollow grind on these. And this is in Magna Cut. So I got one that is absolutely 100% a worker. Nothing, no frills on here. There's nice titanium. It is nice, thick titanium, but no ornate inlays or anything. And just in Magna Cut, of course, you guys know, most of you know about Magna Cut. It is kind of the most well-rounded steel that's out there. Super corrosion resistant is kind of its claim to fame. But to me, this is just the perfect work knife. And if you guys know what Sebenza stands for, Sebenza, I believe it is South African for worker. And this is a worker Sebenza right here. Yeah. So I can quantitate this one, Mike, and say that I paid 6 bills for this one. This was $600. So currently that I can put my fingers on my mind around that I have spent on a knife. $600 is this guy right here. So I have 2 parts to that. I was sounding all kind of crazy there. Sorry about that. Getting very raspy. I'm going to show, I don't know if we'll call it an honorable mention, but this, I have shown this once before. This is a custom Spartan Harsey folder. Go ahead and get it open. And this was made by a custom knife maker and a friend of mine up in North Carolina, Brother Anthony Griffin. And this is one of a kind. He has taken a Spartan Harsey folder, and he has, and I'm probably going to not use the right word, Anthony, and I apologize, but blackwashed the whole scale, the covers, scales, we call them scales on a modern knife. He has blackwashed this blade. He has put like some bronze thumb studs on this thing, and hardware. You can see the hardware if I turn around. This hardware is all bronzed up, matches that. And what is cool about this one is he has done an inlay, or would we call that an overlay? Nah, it sticks up proud, but I'm going to call this an inlay. Anthony, if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. But that is marbled carbon fiber that has been fragged. Which you can see the frag pattern. If you guys don't know what that means, kind of looks like a grenade, but you can feel those. Those are very deep, and this is actually carbon fiber that he has inlaid in that. He just went crazy with this one. He took one, and you know, when you're a custom knife designer, you know, you play around and just go crazy sometimes. And that's what he did on this one. You cannot buy one like this in a store. They don't sell them. This is something that Anthony did himself. as far as this inlay and all, and some of this anodizing and blackwashing on this blade. But I have already had an offer, and you guys may say, HT, you are stuck on stupid. You are crazy, buddy. But I had an offer already. I showed this one time, and a guy said, HT, I'll give you $600 for that cash right now. I want it, 600 bucks. I wouldn't do it. And he went up to as high as $800. He said, would $800 buy that for you? I told him no. You guys are going to say, well, you're probably nuts. I would have got rid of that. I didn't. I was a little bit of a different place in my collecting back then. I was still more so into the moderns when I got those offers. But look at that. Look at this action, by the way. You modern guys, talk about hydraulic. Look at that. I still have a little love for the modern and the whole hydraulic. Yeah, I still got it way deep down inside somewhere. But this I'm going to say is, I paid $600 for this of my hard-earned money. I can put my bank account to that one. This one, I have had a $600 and a $800 offer on it, and I did not accept it. And these are just to get a regular knife like this, these are like $450, $500 knives, period. Before they are, anodized or blackwashed or customized. So if you were just to go out to get a Spartan Harsey, not with this inlay or whatever, they start at about $450, $500 knives. So that would probably be, even if it didn't have this, all this extra on here, one of my, I do have a couple other knives that are in the $400, $450 range, but this one would be right there. So depending on how you look at that mic, I paid $6 bills for this. I've been offered as much up to $800 for this one, so we're going with those as the most expensive. We're at 27 minutes. We're going to get off here. That was fun for me. I hope that was interesting and comical and lighthearted for you guys. But keep those coming. We love them. You got show ideas, drop them down in those comments. I'm enjoying this. This is the people's channel now. I'll do these things for a month straight if you guys keep coming up with great topics that y'all want to talk about and hear on the channel. I'm all for it. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. HT, Miss Abby, I see her way out in the front yard now. We are out.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see. HT's